On the 14th of June 2017, London was devastated by one of the most tragic fires in the United Kingdom. 72 people were killed at the Grenfell Tower in West London. The impact of the fire on the Grenfell community and neighbouring communities was intense. It marked the collective memory, but foremost, it united people. Anger against the government and authorities was displayed. People were upset.
One member of the council have come to my mother's house to see if she's okay.
But despite the resentment and grief, a beautiful sense of community emerged from the tragedy. All races, nationalities, and religions came in together to support one another. Grenfell became one big family.
We've got people from all nationalities, from all over the world that live here.
It showed the level of unity.
The thing that got to me is how close the community got together.
The beauty of the incident was that people of all faiths and none came together on that day.
You know, every single segment of the community was there.
We are family, and I'm not alone.
A year on after the Grenfell fire, the community of Grenfell and various community-based organizations which supported survivors and families of the victims have moved on together. Zain Lukman Mia from the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit has been an active member with his team in order to support survivors and families of the victims.
My name is Zain Lukman Mia and I am from the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit. In my duty of the past 12 months, I've received tremendous support from all faiths, especially from, we talk about the Muslim faith from the masjids to the communities and the charities, to the churches, St. Clement's Church, also to like local organizations and institutions. And every single organization and individuals has put behind any difference that you might have in terms of faith. So it's a shame. It's a shame because it took something like Grenfell for all the communities to come together in such a way that's unbreakable. Because I think previously we've had communities and faiths come together, but not in a way where it's like, they're very much fighting each other's back in their presence and absence. So I've certainly seen it. I think I have to look back at the call logs, but I think I took about just over 1,200 phone calls. And the one thing that I appreciated about our faith and the response from the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit was that we instantly agreed that our support would be for Muslims, non-Muslims, and people with no faith. And when you pick up a phone call, you don't ask someone and you don't help someone based on whether they're from Muslim or not. So we made sure that any single person who called that phone number, that we took down the requirements of what support they needed, and we made sure they got it irrespective of whatever faith. And sometimes because of the fact that we had the word Muslim in our name, I think some of our volunteers or individuals might have been a bit worried that actually people might think that we're only here to help Muslims. It wasn't the case. Till this day, we have had. It's been heartening because we have had tremendous feedback from the non-Muslims and the people who are not of our faith, because they very much valued that we put the human element of being, of humanity and this support first beyond faith or anything else.
Muslims who were awake for Ramadan on the night of the 14th of June alerted their neighbors by banging on their doors as they were amongst the first to notice the fire. Their input will have helped save lives. Sultan Ahmed from the Islamic Relief Organization has spoken about the diversity that brought people together in a tragic event.
My name is Sultan Ahmed and I am a media coordinator in Islamic Relief. One beautiful thing that I saw when we got there were people of Muslim faith, Christian faith, Sikhs, Hindus. Everyone was there, and everyone was there with the intention to help people. And this was something magical for me, because even though there was a tragedy and we were doing everything we can to help, but the beauty of the incident was that people of all faiths and none came together on that day, and the best of London as we know it was there to see. And I remember someone from Sikh Aid, they came, shook hands with us and said, look, you know, we had a big van full of stuff, and they literally came and said, you know, let's help you to unload these sort of things and help move stuff around. And because we had a van, not many vans were around at the time, so a lot of people were bringing a lot of goods, mattresses, water, drinks, nappies, medicines, you name it, plasters. People were bringing it out of their own generosity. So when they brought it, obviously they had to be shifted from one place to another to make sure the victims were getting it, and we had a van and everyone was helping. In terms of collaborating our efforts, Islamic Relief, Muslim Aid, Human Appeal, and a few other charities, National Zakat Foundation, decided to work together rather than working alone. And we formed the Grenfell Muslim Response Unit. And this was a coalition of 4, possibly 5 different charities coming together and saying, hey, instead of us doing our own individual work and, you know, putting too many fingers in the pot, let's just work in one collaborative effort. So, you know, each charity focuses on one speciality. And this was the birth of Grenfell Muslim Response Unit. And we felt that this was a strong point for the Muslim organizations, where instead of everyone coming in, jumping, and this is one of the biggest problems in the disaster response sector, is when you have too many people trying to help, it becomes counterproductive and it becomes a bit of a mess, because then you know, we could see that people came with their very good hearts and very good intention, but volunteers were being restricted on the day as well. That when certain number of volunteers were reached, we had thousands of people coming to volunteer. But if you allowed every single one to volunteer, then there would be chaos, and you know, things would go out of control. So it would definitely become very, very difficult. But the volunteering side of things meant, the Grenfell Response Unit meant that we all work together and with one vision, which is to maximize our efforts in focused objectives rather than everyone duplicating work, for instance.
The local church of St. Helens, near the Grenfell Tower, became a key place for survivors and those who lost family members in the Grenfell fire. St. Helens Church became an important place for the collective memory of Grenfell. Clary Mendy Solomon, the founder of Humanity for Grenfell, lost 2 members of her family in the fire. She opened up her heart to us.
My name is Clary Mendy Solomon. I'm the founder of Humanity for Grenfell. Unfortunately, I lost 2 cousins in the Grenfell Tower. My cousin Mary Mendy and her daughter Khadija Sain was a popular, thriving artist, just reaching a pinnacle. They lived on the 20th floor in the tower, and they tried to make their escape, but they didn't make it out. It was passed around the stairways. And I looked at my phone, and there was hundreds of missed calls, voicemails, emails. Had cousins here in the area. We'd been going to hospitals looking for. Anyway, we caught up. I thought, this is not the best place for me to be right now with my anger, because I know I would have landed up in jail. I would have led maybe a revolution, You know, I think I was on the borderline of insanity, and I had to find my sanity. We had the memorial service and the burials. I said, I think I need to be more active in the area. Having founded Relative Justice for Grenfell, was under that banner. And relatively speaking, it's relative justice for all, not just for bereaved relatives. So we was approached by bereaved relatives, survivors, many different strands of affected people, till it became impossible just to have the WhatsApp. This is why we registered a non-for-profit company. And Mary, who died, her brother, some of her family are Muslim. They was here in the service. They helped to organise the after, post events we had as well, contributing with food, with drink. Some of the Muslims who came to attend, they waited outside. But the majority of them came here. Khadija's father was here. That's what it's about, unity. With religion, I don't think religion should split people. We have to know there's one God. In God's mansion, there is many houses. And it's about having respect and tolerance and understanding and dialogue with each other.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
Grenfell was indeed about a community of diverse nations and beliefs that came together to help one another. I went to meet Sanjit Singh from the Sikh Welfare and Awareness Team in a local temple in West Hounslow. As Sanjit told me, Grenfell was about supporting the community. Humanity became the key word of the tragic event.
My name is Sanjit Singh and I'm a volunteer with Nishgam Swap. Like with everyone else, I'm a volunteer. We are a 100% volunteer-led organisation. We don't have anyone that's on a payroll, and we all do this service because we want to, because we feel it's our duty and for the love of it. So we all have our own careers, and everything that we do to serve humanity is because we feel it is our duty to do so. The organisation, predominantly, we serve from 11 outreach sessions a week, and we serve our displaced friends, homeless, those that are hungry, lonely, and we serve throughout the UK. We do also have international projects, and we are putting into practice core principles and fundamentals from our faith, and taking that to the streets of London and the UK. Predominantly in Grenfell, in that area, it is a very, very strong Muslim community. And what actually came to light was that when the survivors were put into hotels or accommodation, their access to halal food, vegetarian food was limited. And this is when members of the community reached out to us as an organisation to help. And we stepped into gear straight away. So for around about 3.5 months, we were going on a daily basis, supplying vegetarian food, snacks, drinks, directly to where these people were staying. You know, there's only so long you can keep eating the same food over and over again. If there's only 2-3 options on a menu, it's not sustainable. So then that's when we took different types of food every day. And you know, as an organisation, we would never serve anything to anyone that we wouldn't eat ourselves. So we took hot, fresh food, snacks for the kids, chocolates for the kids. You've got to remember there's people from all age groups, crisps, sweets, water, soft drinks. So essentially what we do on our outreach homeless project, it was just an extension of that. But ultimately, it's just an extension of what our faith teaches us. The concept of langar, the concept of seva, the duty to serve people when they're in need, share our resources. You know, it's nothing new. It's what our faith teaches us, and we're just serving our humanity and doing our duty. So. The community there is so diverse. Christians, Muslims, Buddhists, everything. And I think that's the great thing, because, you know, we're all human. You know, God sees no difference in us. We might have different beliefs, we come from different backgrounds, but ultimately we're all one. So as an organisation, we see no difference. As a religion, we see no difference. And it was great to be able to have the opportunity to serve people from so many different backgrounds. And it's a beautiful thing.
It was a privilege for me to meet Michael Campbell, an artist who referred to Grenfell as a beautiful community spirit. Michael lost a close friend in a Grenfell Tower fire.
My name is Michael Campbell, Michael Reuben Campbell. I'm a recording engineer, and my involvement in this is to try and make sure the people are hearing everything that's happening. In the first instance, right, the thing that got to me is how close the community got together. And it was as if everybody just jumped in. And it's made the community closer, much closer. All religions, all cultures, everything. You know, out of this disaster, that is the greatest thing that has happened. It's 1 year now and not much has happened, but community is still together and the fight goes on.
1 year on, people are still trying to come to terms with the tragic events at the Grenfell Tower. Voices of anger could still be heard at the first anniversary of the Grenfell fire. Anger was directed towards the council and the government. Questions from residents were still simply unanswered.
One member of the council have come to my mother's house to see if she's okay. Not one member of the council. Guys, they tried to give me a flat right next to Grenfell.
You have been elected by these people. Answer their questions.
The answer to your question is we will work with the community to make that building what we need it to be.
Okay, guys, they want to make it an adult social hub. Chancellor Hargreaves, where are you going?
This is his wife, that's my cousin.
I see.
My family.
But despite the frustration, the spirit of Grenfell was the one of unity and humanity. Grenfell had become indeed a big family.
When we went there to respond to the Grenfell Tower, we didn't go there to help Muslims. We went there to help people. And we went there to help people who are Christian, people who are of no faith. People who were of no faith came to help other people as well. So it's very, very important to practice our religion the way Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would have done himself, which is when he came to helping people, he helped everybody regardless of race, culture and religion.
I think it's very simple. I think it's just to echo the message of Guru Gobind Singh Ji and to recognise the whole human race as one and to know that it is our duty to serve humanity.
Tragedy brought us together, and our job now is to continue to look after one another, regardless of our ethnicity, our social status or our religion.
People from all across the UK fled in towards the heart of London to support those who were affected. People from all communities, all faiths and cultures. People didn't allow the differences between the communities to come in the way of serving their following brethren.